What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fantasy in Frames. The draft show is back, baby. And we have got our women's best ball tournament, round 2, the Sarah Thomas division, named in honor of the first female NFL referee. We have got that draft here live tonight. It is going right now. We got a tight end shakeup for you. We got Brock Bowers going first overall. Kev, what's up? How are you doing? Let me get this draft board on the screen.
Look, I don't want to say that, my dulcet tones last night influenced anything in this draft, but I did make it very well known that I thought Bowers would be the first pick and should be the first pick. Didn't expect, we'll talk about it. We're in our second draft in this tournament here. There's a lot to talk about. I'm excited. We're drafting. It's the most beautiful time of year.
Exactly. It's the most beautiful time of the year. We have got Miss Kelly Donovan waiting in the wings to join us. She's going to be on the clock in about 2 seconds. The team before her, Carly's team, is drafting right now. So, Kelly, I'm going to bring you on as soon as you have made your picks so that we do not distract you from that. But look at this. So we have got Brock Bowers, Saquon Barkley, Travis Kelce. We got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Bijan. Carly's on the clock right now. I love that this draft is so different from the first round.
Yeah, I mean, with a tournament like this, with obviously different drafts, they're going to have different textures. You're going to have, guys going maybe a little higher, a little lower. I mean, it's variance. So, I mean, it all is going to average out to kind of where they should go in the end when you have, how half a dozen drafts, 5 drafts, whatever the case may be. But still, I mean, it's just different drafts. I mean, we know this with like Scott Fishbowl. We see some crazy stuff happen, in some drafts. We hear about it like, why can't that be in our draft?
Right.
But, that's what makes it great.
Exactly. All right. Kelly just took Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of my absolute faves. Everybody, welcome to the show. Kelly, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks.
Yeah. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, tell me about this pick.
Well, I had him 2 years ago. Oh, there went the other tight end I wanted, Trey McBride. Darn. I was debating. I was very, very close to taking Trey. Make sure I got him. Because anyway, this is what happens when you're watching both your draft and talking.
Right.
But no, I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm a Bears fan, so I've watched the Detroit Lions forever, and he is just a stud. And when Brock was gone, and again I debated on Trey, but then I decided to go with the wide receiver.
Yeah, can't go wrong. You can never really go wrong with like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka. Yeah, I mean, interchangeable. Pretty much everybody is from honestly pick 5 until the end of the first round. So, I mean, even if you did take Trey, I mean, it's not a bad pick. I mean, we know it's obviously tight end premium. But yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown gives you just so much consistency at that position. Obviously, you're in a great offense minus Ben Johnson, but it really shouldn't change too much in terms of touchdown equity.
Yep.
No, how excited are you with being from Chicago and everything about, Ben Johnson taking over there?
Yeah, well, we're all cautiously optimistic. We're Bears fans after all. We've been burned for the last 10 years. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited they brought in some help on the offensive line. I mean, that was the biggest thing last year is just, I just don't know how you can look at the quarterback and say, oh, it's all his fault. He's a learning curve. But we're dying for a quarterback whisperer, and we've just been through good ones. And I think Justin Fields was a solid quarterback, and happy to see him with the Jets, and wish him all the best, because I think he got some bum raps in Chicago and stuff. So, whoops, I guess I'm on again.
Kelly is on the clock. So at the turn, we had Devon Achane go. We had Malik Neighbors, followed up by Brian Thomas. We got Ashton Genty, our first rookie, off the board, going to Kennedy at spot 10. Just got Trey McBride and Ashton Genty. That seems like a fun team so far. We got Puka and Derrick Henry. And Kelly's on the clock, AJ Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Kelly, I feel like you have a theme going now, and you're just going to have to stick with it throughout the rest of the draft.
I think you can't let AJ Brown go.
No, Chase Brown is going to be your next pick.
Good point. Good point.
Regardless of whether you want him or not, it has to happen now.
It's just going to be all colors,
Yeah. I love everybody hanging out in the chat over here. Thanks for joining us tonight. Again, on our second night of the Fantasy and Frames Women's Tournament. We've got a few more drafts coming up for you guys this week. We've got one on Saturday, nice little matinee action at 4 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going to be in that draft. We got lots of other fun ladies that are going to be in that one as well. That is, we've got some of our ladies that are over in the UK that are going to be joining us. Then we've got next Friday, the 28th, was the Angie Hatfield division. That's going to be for our West Coast friends over there. So make sure you get a nap in before that one if you're an East Coaster like me. And then Sunday, we're going to wrap it up with the Kay Adams division on the 30th at 7 o'clock. I think we have our youngest contestant playing in that league. 10-year-old Miss Addison Kennedy is going to be joining us, ready to rock all of us here and just take the championship right out of Angie's hands. Can't wait for that. My boy Sam Laporta goes to Gina at number 2. I like Gina's squad so far.
Yeah, we're getting wild and woolly over here in this draft compared to yesterday's draft, certainly. But look, different flavors, different textures. You go get your guys, especially in a tournament like this, and yeah, throw everything at the wall, see what sticks.
Exactly. Angie, I see Angie in the chat over here. Time for a nap in her division time. Yes, because we're old now, Angie. So
glass of warm milk too.
Exactly. Let's see. So we're going into the third round now. Yeah. Kelly, do you typically draft this early in the year?
Actually, so this is only my 4th year doing fantasy, although now it sounds like I'm a seasoned veteran, but I still have so I'm still getting used to like the differences and the timings. I do prefer to draft after the NFL draft, just because I feel like I have a better position, know where people are landing and how the teams are shaping out. I think we all have that player that's like thought they were going to do one thing, then they get drafted in their team, and you're like, oh, now I don't know what they're going to do. So,
right.
But it all works out at the end, and it's just for fun. So I don't take it too seriously.
I love Sandy's pick there, Tucker Craft Mac and Cheese. Sandy's a Packer fan. I'm a Packer fan. Shout out to Sandy. I hope you're watching. That's my aunt, guys. Doing her first best ball draft ever here. So I'm very excited to see what everyone's teams look like at the end of this. This is a 20-man roster for those of you that are joining us and did not join us last night or not familiar with how the FFPC's rosters are constructed for best ball. It is a full point PPR. You get a half point extra there for tight end premium. This is a slim format, so no defenses, no kickers, thank God. So we are just going with our skill positions, and yeah, so this is gonna be a fun little draft here.
Kelly, you were full steam ahead with the Browns.
Yes.
So I drafted Chase Brown when he first came out of college. Again, I'm an Illinois fan, so I saw him as a running back, and man, he paid off dividends last year for me in a couple of my dynasty leagues. So just love him.
Oh yeah. So you are a big Illinois fan. So are you ready for March Madness?
I am. I actually haven't seen the result of the game tonight with Xavier and whoever they're playing, so I don't know. But yes, I'm keeping fingers crossed for Illinois. I think they're a little bit all over the map, unfortunately, but they've got a couple guys that'll probably go in the NBA draft in the top 20. So it'll be a whole new year next year again.
Once upon a time, I used to pay attention to college basketball, and then with all this fantasy football, I just don't have any more brain space for it. But I do. I'll have to tell us, I'm probably going to get booed in the chat over here. I'm a Duke fan. Yeah. I'll tell you guys why. You'll get a kick out of this. So, my family is from Missouri and Kentucky. My dad was a huge Kentucky Wildcat fan. And I'm a horrible child because I used to root for the teams that his teams like their rivals, right? So remember flashback years ago, the Kentucky, Christian Leitner, like that one, right? So terrible child. Started rooting for Duke. Have never stopped. I actually wanted to go to law school at Duke just so I could specifically just like go to the basketball games. No real other reason. I just wanted to be able to go to the basketball games, but not quite smart enough to go there for law school though.
Yeah, I used to like March Madness then, obviously I'm a Syracuse fan, but yeah, they have been since Boeheim left, has not been great. So I have more time in mid-March now.
I like to watch like the tournaments and stuff, but like I just can't keep up with it throughout the season. There's just too many other football related things going on.
Yeah, it's well, and I'm a Big Ten. That's pretty much all I kind of pay attention to, and then when it gets to March Madness, so
Kelly is going to be up here in just a second. We are going into the fourth round here. I promise that I'm going to do a better job narrating this draft than I did last night because we were off the rails last night. We are going, like I said, going into the fourth over here. We've got Marlene starting off with Terry McLaurin. Love that pick there. I like her receivers. She's got Malik Neighbors, Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin. Tyreek Hill, who apparently announced he's having yet another child. So, man, I'm glad he's playing football because holy cow. Those babies are expensive. Then we got Kennedy here with Jaden Daniels, in addition to her JSN and Gentine McBride team. Amy just took Jalen Hurts. So now we have got 4 quarterbacks off the board. Right, make that 5. We got Joseph Burrow has been selected here, Kelly. We were just talking about Joe Burrow before the show got. Look at this run. We got Lamar now too. Carly taking Lamar. But we were just talking about Joe Burrow before we got started, and I was confessing how I didn't believe that he was going to be any good because of his wrist injury, and that was much to my detriment last season.
Well, look, this room knows it's tight end premium. The 7th tight end went off the board, I believe, in the 6th round in last night's draft. So, okay, we're gonna make this a true quarterback run. This is,
yes. Yeah,
this is the thing that's happening.
I love it. Let's go. Yvette already took Josh Allen. So, Joe Mixon, McCaffrey, and JJ. That's fun.
A lot of J's there. Yeah. So Kelly, you didn't know Brown last name, but you did stay with the B's. So at least you're expanding your player pool here.
Got a theme going. I'm having trouble getting back to the main list. I have to kind of restart on the app. And as soon as I select a position, then for some reason I'm not sure how to get back to the full list again.
Oh no, I'm not on the app right now. I've got it on my phone, or else I would be able to help.
I'm sure if I played with it more, I would know. But
I like Marianne's pick of Mike Evans in the 4th round. I feel like that's pretty incredible value, probably because we had such the run there with the quarterbacks pushing him down a little bit.
Yeah, and you're probably going to see the rest of the teams that don't have a quarterback get scared and at least get a quarterback there. That's usually what happens is the people feel like it's like a clearance sale and you got to get one while you can.
Kevin, how do you feel about bowing to peer pressure in something like this?
I don't. I will just stick to my guns I will take because all that does is push value down. That pushes Mike Evans to the end of the 4th. That pushes Garrett Wilson to the 4 or 5 turn. That's, you're going to get incredible values you wouldn't get elsewhere. So you can make a quarterback room out of, you can MacGyver a running, a rubber band and a stick and find a quarterback. I'm not going to name names, but you can pair 2 of the quarterbacks remaining and get a really nice room. So get the values and then you can kind of scrounge wherever to get like a decent 3 quarterback room in best ball.
There's one in particular that I'm thinking of that I'm a little surprised hasn't gone off the board yet. We'll see when he goes. I won't spoil it for everybody.
There's 3, honestly.
3 that you're thinking of?
Yeah, that I'm surprised a couple of these went off before them.
Yeah.
But
Are you talking quarterbacks? I kind of paying attention to two conversations.
No, it's okay. Yeah, we're talking about two different quarterbacks. Angie, we cannot tell you who they are until they've been taken. Ooh, Garden Love. There we go. There we go.
It's not one of them. I will say that.
How do you just hate on your own team's quarterback, Kev?
I've never hated on anything in my life. I don't know what you're talking about, Stacy, but the thing is, the Packers run almost solely behind Josh Jacobs, and it doesn't leave a lot on the table for the passing game, where he's almost strictly based on touchdowns. Like, he has to throw 35 touchdowns, and unless he's like Lamar Jackson and with like passing efficiency, I don't know how Love gets there. So and with the receivers, we know they underutilized Jaden Reed. Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Dobbs. You apparently needed to add Nicole Hardman into the mix now. So I'm very concerned.
Stop reminding me about Nicole Hardman, please. Please.
I'm sorry. I have to put it out there. I can't,
No.
We're a no fact checking show here. So
no, yeah, please do not fact check us. Please. Kelly is on the clock. Zay Flowers just went. We're in the 5th round here. We've got some of these like mid-round receivers that are going off the board. I feel like Devontae Adams is going to end up, as long as he stays healthy, like being a real value there for a vet in the 5th round.
Yeah. Devontae Adams is an absolute steal in the mid-5th. I think I said on last night's show, I think he'll, by the time we get to drafting in, mid-August into September before week 1, I think he's going to be in that 2-3 turn range, because we know how the Rams are very condensed in their passing game. Obviously, Cooper Kupp is down in Seattle, and it's going to be Adams and Puka Nacua soaking up over 50% of the targets. So I can't see why Adams would be going this just because he's older. Seems like that's the only reason.
Yeah. Kelly finally breaking the bees. Marvin Harrison as your 3rd receiver. I like that. So this is FFPC rules. So we start 2 receivers, 2 flexes, a tight end, and then your 2 running backs. Not super flex. In case anybody was wondering, you probably were not wondering, since quarterbacks did not go until a little bit later. But yeah. I want to take a second real quick and just give a shout out to everybody who is drafting in this particular division. Tonight, we have got Stacy Glansman. She's our Kev. If you remember, Stacy won our Vampire League that we did for the draft show. So a shout out, Stacy. Then we have got Miss Gina Noble. We have got Marianne Yaney. Marianne and I are in a we're a part of a networking group together, and she is one of the girls that plays in our league that we have there with everybody. We have got Miss Roxanne, Queen Roxanne, as you know her online. We have got a vet from Bougie Sports who might be joining us a little bit later. As I told you guys, we have got Sandy, my Aunt Sandy from Missouri, is here doing her first baseball ever. We have got Miss Carly Manger. We have got Kelly Donovan right here, who's joining us tonight. We've got Miss Amy Anderson. Also, she's a first time with the women's basketball tournament. So is Kennedy as well. You guys saw Kennedy in the, we did some videos, some intro videos that people sent in. She was part of the first wave that's going. I've got some more of those that are going to get ready to be put out soon. So if you guys are playing in the league, playing in the tournament, and you want to send in those intro videos, still time to do it. Please send them to me at my email. I put it in everybody's group chats, so it's there. If you can't find it, just send me a DM. We've got Miss Jennifer down here, Eakins. And then we're running it up with Miss Marlene. She is Marlene Ponce. She is down in Mexico, one of our international players this year. Awesome. Johnny Smith going off the board there. Who is this? Let's bring it in, Miss Yvette.
What's up? I was literally just watching you guys right before this. I almost was late because I was so watching you guys. And I've never met Kelly. You're awesome. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Vet, thanks for hanging out with us. How's your draft looking? How do you feel about your team?
Well, I mean, as you can tell, I have nothing but all bangers, banger, 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 banger. And I think that's where I'm going. I'm just going for my value here. Every single person I have, I believe in. I mean, I know with Justin Jefferson, we don't know who the quarterback is there, but we also, Sam Darnold was there last year and it didn't stop him then. So I had to take him there. Same with CMC. I don't know why. I felt like in the second round, it felt safer, Hey, who else did I take? I had Josh Allen and Joe Mixon. That was like, I hope it's not my turn, is it?
No, okay. You're on deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you're on the clock.
Oh no. I did not want it to auto draft for me. I would be so upset.
Yeah, that's okay. We will you focus, you do your pick. We'll pick up the slack for you. Kelly, tell me about Tyler Warren here. Is our first rookie tight end off the board?
I know nothing. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I just was starting to get scared. All the tight ends were going, and I'm like, okay, I hope he's a good rookie like these other guys turned out.
Bam.
I mean, he's probably the best rookie, like that's not Brock Bowers that took him out in the last few years. So he is a grown man.
So maybe I'll get a bonus. No, I have all of a sudden realized I'm like, oh my gosh, because I kept looking at the tight end draft board and going, gosh, these are too early to draft some of these guys. And all right, he's here.
Right. Is it ever too early in one of these before the draft, the actual NFL draft has ever happened? Kevin, we talked about this a little bit last night, but what are your thoughts on taking any of the rookies at this point?
Yeah, like the rookies, I mean, Ashton Genty, that's going to be the price you're going to pay for him. If he gets in a supreme landing spot where he's the unquestioned top running back, I mean, he's probably going to dip into the first round. So even getting him at the end of the second is great. But with some of the rookies, you're getting value especially later on where who, Ted McMillan, you've got Amari Hampton, those guys are going to be studs wherever they go, but you can get a lot of the value with rookies later on in the draft when you start getting into the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, because it's kind of ambiguous as to A, landing spot, and B, their draft capital, which is going to really drive how much, time on the field they're going to get in year one. So, drafting before the draft really allows you to get a lot of that value. Now drafting them, and then, if they pump up their stocks, they're playing day one, week one, you're getting multiple rounds of value just by taking them, so that's why I like to stock my team with a handful of rookies and try to use them as kind of scratch off tickets.
Yeah. I love that. I think so. Right now we've got Genty, Warren, and Hampton off the board as far as rookies go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Looks it.
Nice. I love it. Yvette, have you been drafting a lot so far this year, or is this one of your first drafts?
Oh my gosh. So this is my first draft. I think this was my first draft last year when I started, but I think this is a great place to start because we're doing best ball and it's never too early. And I think it's a great way to see where people, are going and what people think, especially what you said with the rookies, to give a good idea on, even before we know what team they're on, what people think their potential is in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking today, because I know everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're drafting in March? That's crazy. It's so early. It is never too early to have fun in the fantasy world. And you can play and you can do a lot of fun things this early when you don't really know, where landing spots are for guys. There's still some free agents out there that we don't know where they're going to land, AKA our former Packer Aaron Rodgers. Along with some others, you never know. So this is a good time. I don't want to hear anybody saying it's too early. There's never an off season in fantasy football. So
who cares? Anyways, tomorrow's not promised to anyone. If we want to draft fantasy football today, we will draft.
That's right. Damn it. We're going to draft. Absolutely.
I just want to say I took Roma Dunze because I know that Kelly aren't you a Chicago fan?
Yes, yes.
So I just knocked him.
I love me some Roma Dunze. Did you guys know that he had the third highest contested catch rate last season?
Mm-hmm.
72.2. 75%, I think, was his last season in college as well. I love a good contested catch rate stat. That's my favorite stat of all time.
I think his routes really improved later in the season and stuff, his route running.
Yeah, he ran the 7th most total routes of any wide receiver, just on volume. So, I mean, that's just even getting on the field. And we know with Chicago, it's it was very condensed last year with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Roma Dunze. Granted, we know Shane Waldron got fired midseason. Head coach got fired midseason. So hit the reset button with Ben Johnson, no Keenan Allen more than likely. I mean, Keenan Allen's fate is still still sealed, but it's going to be good for Roma Dunze as more than likely the second target.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
There he goes.
That's one of the quarterbacks.
Kelly. Yes. I was wondering who was going to take Baker.
I like Baker.
I love it. That's fantastic. So we're in the 7th round of this draft. 7th round kicks us off. Stacy takes James Conner. We got DK Metcalf, Travis Etienne, not Trevor Etienne, like I confused him last night. We got Khalil Shakir, the aforementioned Roma Dunze. We got Tyrone Tracy, Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield, and Jerry Judy going off the board at number 9 to Amy. Kennedy is now on the clock. Kennedy hasn't taken any Lions yet. Kennedy, if you're in the chat, do you have a rule about not taking anybody on your team? I always try to limit myself to one Packer, and that's it. If I can help it.
I mean, the way I've been going the last couple of years, I haven't taken many Packers that are not Dontavian Wicks. So it is what it is.
It's easy to avoid players when your team's the Cleveland Browns. So.
That is a fair point.
Hang on, I'm looking because one player just came to mind for me on the Browns, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I'm curious as to why he hasn't been taken off the board yet.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there, and when he gets taken, we'll call it out. But yeah, I'm a little curious.
Is he sexy?
I mean, he is a very attractive man.
Okay. Well, I definitely know who you're talking about then.
Yeah.
There he goes.
There he goes.
David Njoku.
Yes.
I believe Kelly Singh once said that she met him somewhere at some event. I don't remember what it was, but she said he was like one of the most.
I remember. It was at the Super Bowl. And she said he smelled good because he's my favorite. How could you not love him? If you want to love any Cleveland Brown, like you said, besides Nick Chubb, obviously we still love him, but that's a good guy to like.
I mean, after he had those, the issue with the burns, and then showed up at the game with the mask on, that was like just such a what a good personality, to be able to play that off. That was pretty hilarious.
And everybody can appreciate that type of chiseled body, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
he does work out.
I don't know what that's like, but I can appreciate it.
You have to be able to appreciate it. It's just one of those things where you just can't not look. You're just like, oh my God. Him and Myles Garrett.
He won the gym game. You're good, buddy. You don't have to go anymore.
Right.
You've hit your peak. You've maxed out. Kevin's getting very uncomfortable over here.
No, I'm very comfortable. Look,
this isn't your other podcast, Stacy.
This is not the book club podcast, although that drops every Monday at 2 p.m. If anybody's interested in
imagine if there wasn't a David Njoku book, though. Oh my Lord.
Oh my goodness, scampers. Njoku's a grown monster. He is a grown monster. Real. What's up, Charlene? Thank you for joining us. Charlene, I think, is drafting on Friday in the Angie Hatfield division. Maxed out. Yeah, Jalen Milroe. I saw the clip of his running the 40 showed up on my Twitter feed today. He's also won at the gym game for sure.
Mm.
Why is Isaiah Pacheco going solo? Do you guys have issues with him going in the 8th round? Is it because of Kareem Hunt?
I
Is that-
don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, you took him. I think you guys.
I was worried about him the way he came back off of injury at the end of last season. The fact that he couldn't overtake elderly Kareem Hunt, and now I think he's just seeing his stock. He's seeing his stock. Ted McMillan, I'm surprised, just went in the 8th, by the way. But
put a pin in that. We'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah, there's a lot of ambiguity with the Chiefs backfield, and I think they're going to draft somebody and make it even more muddy. So I think if they do draft somebody, you're probably going to see Pacheco go down to like the double-digit rounds.
No, Vince, I feel like that's just mean. I never like to judge guys coming back from an injury like that severely that year. Like I mean, he just was such a great running back, and then that was a really significant injury. So like I will take him in the 8th all day long. Like I'm willing to see what he does this year. And I like this Najee pick here, Yvette. That is fantastic. Like you've got McCaffrey, Mixon, Aaron Jones, and now Najee in his new spot. Like he's probably just be like so happy to be like going from Pittsburgh to like LA now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so happy because I can draft him with a clear conscience. So yes. Go me.
Najee's already throwing a little shade at Pittsburgh too. I don't know if you saw that about the weight room.
Oh, good.
He was saying they have the LA has the state of the art weight room. Like he said a lot of teams don't have this. Trust me, I know, or something. Paraphrasing, but
I love it. Oh my God, I'm so happy I drafted him because of that. I was gonna say on the opposite end, I've seen that Juan Thornhill has been throwing out TikToks because he was on the Browns and he's so happy to be on the Steelers. So it's like Bill, but yay for Najee.
Yes,
that's my running back.
He did look so happy. Like I saw the Chargers TikTok is whoever runs it does a great job because the
entire social media team.
Yeah, exactly. Their whole social media team, A+, give those people raises because they're phenomenal. But they did a clip of Najee getting signed, his first picking him up at the airport, bringing him in, everything that they did with him, getting his helmet measured and all the stuff that he was doing. And he just looked so happy. You could just tell on his face. He looked so happy to be there.
I would be happy for him to do well this year.
Yeah, he just ever since he drafted from college, he just seems like a good dude. He want them to be successful.
Probably happy he doesn't have Arthur Smith looking over his shoulder.
Exactly.
Or the terrible towels,
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, we got Wild Rosie coming on in, checking out the competition. What's up, girl? Ooh, just speaking of Chargers, there goes Justin Herbert off the board.
That's a great pick there. Yeah.
Love that.
With all the quarterbacks that have gone, getting at least getting Herbert there.
Mm-hmm. And snatching him from Gina so she can't stack him with Lad McConkey.
Yeah.
Gotta love that too. Got to love it. We're in the 9th round of our draft, guys. This is the 60-second clock. So those of you who draft on other sites like Underdog and some other ones that give you 30 seconds, that's why this one's taking a little bit longer because we are a 60-second clock here.
Yeah, trying to take a look at some teams that I like. Carly's team sticks out to me with Gibbs, Kittle, Higgins, Lamar Jackson, Flowers, Hampton, Godwin, McMillan. That's a good 8 rounds.
That is. That's super fun. Let me take a look over here too. We got Jennifer still doesn't have a QB, so she is definitely kicking that down the road. I love it. I can't wait to see what she does with that later because I like her tight end room with Jonnu and Evan Ingram. That's a good time.
Yeah. We'll take a look here. Yeah, I mean, that's funny. The Marlene with the H-Head, Neighbors, Hill, McLaurin, that the 12 hole last night had the same exact start.
They did. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Wow.
I wonder if that's where we're going to see a lot of those guys go. Because I mean, I think pretty much with the exception of Kelsey and McBride, that looks pretty the same as far as guys that went in the first.
Right.
Yep. Do you guys, how do you guys feel about the Texans? Do we feel like CJ Stroud's going to have like a bounce back year now that they've got somebody new in at OC?
I mean, it probably splits the difference between last year and his rookie season. Like, we know right now it's Christian Kirk and Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz, that was Tank Dell. We don't know if he's going to come back at the end of the year or whatever the case may be. And they have a lot of depth issues with their wide receivers, but it seems like a lot of the issue was PFF Bobby Slowick, their former offensive coordinator, his play calling, which basically was run Mixon up the gut on first and second down and let Stroud try to complete 3rd and 8s. That was pretty much the entire offense last season, led to his firing. So, I mean, Stroud's pretty talented. I mean, I don't know if we're going to see what we saw last year. I think we can expect some improvement, but I think getting him in the 9th round compared to where you had to draft him last year, which was about what, the 4th round, 5th round. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Pretty good value considering. And then Sandy took, him with Nico Collins too. So that only helps.
Exactly. That's nice. I like it. I like a nice little pairing there.
Yep.
A little stack in best ball.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, Vince has a question for us. Here we go. Vince wants to know, do we think Christian Kirk is now listed in Stephon Diggs' phone as Christian Jerk?
Ooh.
I mean, dang. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, Stephon Diggs, his market's a little desperate. Apparently, he's set to visit the Patriots. Modern problems require modern solutions. If you want to have a job in the league, the Patriots will pay $20 million over your market value to get you in the door. Look at it, didn't even work for Chris Godwin, so they might be in panic mode to get somebody that resembles a wide receiver in the door. So, I mean, we'll see how that goes. But Kirk's got himself a nice little setup there. We'll see where he goes.
He sure does. Getting all that money from Jacksonville, driving everybody bananas with that contract, and then going to the Texans. Like he's doing things right, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I like what Jennifer just did. Jen took Tua here. She's pairing him with Waddle and Jonnu Smith for a nice little Miami stack. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Didn't have to pay the Tyreek premium, and you're still getting a good chunk of the Miami Dolphins targets there. I mean, that's pretty good. Obviously, you're going to have to probably grab another quarterback soon because A, they're going to get wiped out, and B, to his long-term health, you can't exactly pencil him in for 17 games every season.
For sure. Didn't they sign Zach Wilson? Maybe she should in round 20 go grab. Is there anybody happier about where they signed than Zach Wilson signing down in Miami?
That is Zach Wilson. That's a cry for help if I've ever seen one. Like blink once if you're okay.
Well, I think he's more than okay down there in Miami with all the Cougars. You guys know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Kelly, Ricky Pearsall. I love this pick so much. I'm so excited. I mean, they've gotten rid of everybody else, So I love it. I love this. This is great.
Well, you just never know at the 49ers, but we'll see.
This is true.
That was my pick, Kelly, but that's okay because I did that to you for
thank you.
Roma Doomsday.
The check is in the mail.
Stacy, the Juwan Jennings erasure, by the way, they got rid of everybody.
Mm-hmm. Look, Juwan Jennings goes in the 9th round to Stacy's team, to my Name Twins team. Name Twin. And I appreciate how Stacy spells her name the correct way, which is no E, just S-T-A-C-Y. So.
Or I-E.
Oh, no. Yeah, we don't do the I-E.
We don't recognize the I-E?
We do not recognize it. We don't recognize the I. We don't recognize the E-Y. I actually saw the other day somebody spell it S-T-A-Y-C-E. And I thought, what is this world coming to?
I've seen S-T-A-Y-C-I-E.
What? No, stop it. Straight to jail. Your parents straight to jail. Like,
is that like the Caitlin, the million variations of Caitlin?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Can't do it. Cannot do it. Yvette, you're taking my guy, Mecca Buka. I love it. I love it.
OHU. University. They always put out the best wide receivers. I figured this is my time to take my flyer pick, my rookie, because we're in the 10th. I keep going like this because my glasses are so dirty. In the 10th round. And
we are in the 10th round. Cooper Kupp goes in the 10th round of Marianne.
Wow.
Woo.
Our
Oh my
picks flying
goodness.
now.
Cooper, oh man. Cooper Kupp, how the mighty have
Wow.
fallen.
Look, Cooper Kupp's home.
He
Grew up in Washington. I mean, that dude, the first day, like Seattle took a picture of him in a Pearl Jam shirt. Like, how much Washington can you get?
That's fantastic. Scampers, stop that. That is an abomination.
Yes, please drop your alternate spellings of Stacy in the chat. We will put them all up.
Oh my goodness. Hey Jen, thanks for joining us. Jen, we were just talking about your team and we really enjoyed, I don't know if you heard or not, but we really enjoyed what you're doing there with that Miami stack. So if you want to put more in the chat about your thoughts there, we would appreciate it. Jalen McMillan in the 10th too. That's nice. Yeah. I'm curious to see what's going to happen now that Chris Godwin's back and healthy. I mean, he only played like 7, games last year, but gosh, Jalen McMillan was so good there at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like the way because they had so many injuries, they had to throw out like all of their depth. Sterling Shepard, Raheem Jarrett, like Ryan Miller, like guys you've never heard of. I mean, Shepard you heard of, but like all these guys you never heard of just to be able to fill a roster. And then, McMillan got hurt for a while too. And then he came back when they really needed him and he had a great end of the season. I mean, as long as they're all healthy, I mean, we'll see with Godwin if he's, dislocated ankle, if he's going to be playing week 1, but you got to figure between that, McMillan's a clear third target. Even, Kate Otton's like fine, but I think his 2024 was because they were so banged up at wide receiver, not because he like shifted and went to another gear. Like, I think McMillan is going to be able to build off of that. I don't know about the touchdowns, but I think he could still get close to 100 targets. He's one of the best like contingent plays at wide receiver in case something happens to Evans or Godwin, because he immediately shoots up to being like a startable wide receiver too every week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, especially what you're saying about Kate Otten too. I mean, like in this format, this is a great format to take him and to get him a little later. It's tight end premium. You're banking on him getting a couple touchdowns a year. You're not relying on him to do a lot of work. That's why you got Sam Laporta up there. He's going to be the, your starter pretty much every single week. But Kate Otten might get you, slip in there into a, flex or something.
Do we think Laporta is going to have a better year this year? I don't understand why they weren't throwing to him.
That to you.
All right. Thank you. I'm glad you brought this up, Kelly. Thank you. All right. This is like my Roman Empire. Okay. Yeah. All right. Here's the deal. Like Sam Laporta, he had an amazing rookie year, right? We all knew that he was not going to repeat the rookie year. That was just, absolutely exceptional. Vince, I also see your alternate spelling of Stacy, and I just, my eyes are like bleeding right now. But
so good.
We knew that Laporta was going to take a little bit of step back, right? A little bit of regression. I want you guys to go look at his numbers, the way he ended up the year, because it actually wasn't as bad as it may have seemed or felt if you took him, pretty high. And I think the reason for that is because Detroit is just going to like run the ball down your throat. That's what they did all year. And I think it too, and I haven't looked at this in a while, but every year they just run the ball more and more and more and more and more. So of course Laporta was going to take a little bit of a backseat, and you could even see it with Amon-Ra St. Brown's numbers as well. Like Laporta wasn't the only one who kind of like, I don't want to say suffered, but kind of felt that a little bit there with the relying on the run game in Detroit. So I'm going to take a look at Laporta's numbers here if you guys give me a second, because like I said, it's been a minute, so I don't have them like committed to memory, but I know they didn't end up being as bad as they may have felt to everyone.
Well, not as bad as like, because you were where you had to draft them. You had to draft them at the very beginning.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, the third round. I mean, the FFPC, you had to take him in the second. So you felt that sting even more in this.
You did. So he ended up with, in PPR settings, 10.9 points per game. That was his average, which was 9th overall for the tight end position. So he was behind Andrews, right in front of Zach Ertz of all people. So you've got that going to, what did he end up with? The 4th overall. He was tied for 4th in touchdowns, with Ertz, Patty Fries, Tucker Kraft, 7 touchdowns. What did he have, like 10 the year before, I think?
Yeah. So from 2023 to last year, he had 40 less targets, 26 less catches, 150 less yards, 3 less touchdowns. Still ran about the same amount of snaps, of fewer routes. But I also think Jameson Williams really studying up. I think that took a lot of you would have. The last couple of years, you've had the Cleve Raymonds and the Josh Reynolds, those players. I mean, Jameson Williams really consolidated all of that himself and then took a lot of the touchdown equity. Because once you get all those big plays and you get up, that reduces the need to have to pass the ball. And there goes a lot of the volume that Laporta probably would have seen too. Same with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Well, when you have Montgomery at the line too, that, you're just going to hand it to him and let him plow in. So.
Exactly. Wendy's hanging out in the chat. Wendy, if you guys watched last night, Wendy joined us as well. You can still go back and catch that draft over on Fantasy and Frames on our YouTube. If you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you do that so you can be up to date on all the dimes that we're going to be putting out shows. We've got so many things going on. I know tonight there's at least 4 different shows going. Dynasty 365, Shoot the Gap is going, Fourth and Frames is going. So we've got a lot of content out there for you. So if you're not subscribed already, please go make sure to do that. We don't want Jorge to fire us. Right, Kev?
Yeah. I mean, look, I got to feed my kids. So, we need all the money. Yeah. Not human kids. So
fur babies. Exactly. We got Drake May going in the 11th round. That is with Dak and Lamar. That is nice.
Not too shabby.
Really cool.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we're in the 12th round now. I'm going to scoot our screen up just a smidge. Yeah, exactly, Vince. There's a hockey show, too, for those of you that are into hockey. If you don't like anybody besides the Lightning, then I don't know what you're doing. So we'll take all of the bandwagon jumpers, from Boston and, all the other teams that suck. So the Lightning are here to take your fandom. Just letting you guys know that.
It is really hard to concentrate because you guys are all, how it is, because I'm drafting on my phone. So I'm so into my phone, the draft going on.
I know.
You know what I mean? So it's I'm trying to listen, but then I'm trying to pay attention.
That is totally okay. That is, Kevin and I are here to run our mouths while you guys are drafting. Bad news.
I think I'm resting bitch face sometimes, and I don't want people to because I'm looking at my phone for my draft.
Vince, I see your comment in the chat about not liking the Lightning, and I will not post this on the screen unless you say something complimentary about the Lightning, and then I will post it.
I might though.
Kev might. If it gets posted, just know it was not for me. Here we go. Kelly coming in with her third tight end there, and you've got Warren Likely and Cole Kmet.
Yeah. Look, Carly is team upside here. That was what Travis Hunter now. That's her 1, 2, third rookie there.
I love that.
Arlene, that's great. There goes Zach. I really like what Sandy's doing here with her tight ends with Tucker Kraft, Jake Ferguson, and Zach Ertz. Those are guys that are definitely going to get in the end zone and be able to put up some numbers that way for you. Hopefully, Jack Ferguson was hurt last year, right? No, am I thinking of somebody else?
Who's that?
Ferguson.
He was just kind of lying in the weeds for most of this. He was hurt for a little bit, but
he's hurt for a little bit. Yeah.
But nobody's challenging him really for any snaps or anything. So, why he's, 8th round is, I guess, all right, but I feel like he's a little underpriced.
Well, and Dak loves his tight ends. That's a known fact. So,
yeah,
we got Gino. Go with Javonte Williams, brand new member of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's going to be an interesting one.
For sure. Yep. I don't know what's going on in Dallas.
Does anybody?
This is a tight end premium league.
Yeah.
Yes.
I waited 1 round. But that's okay because that's why you do things early. And I thought, okay, there are all those tight ends that went right before Zach Ertz Cole commit. I was looking at all those. Hunter Henry. I was going to start there. So that was really well played, and it just shows you like I should have took them in the 10th. And if I don't know, I would just regret that. So something I will look back in next time for my next draft.
Well, I mean, you're good to go there with Gesicki because, like, the minute if T. Higgins misses a game, like Gesicki to the moon, you know?
Yeah, and Burrow has been singing his praises, and then he got an extension. Like when Burrow was, talking about Jamar Chase and like he made sure to put Mike Gesicki in that group of like guys that he loves.
Yeah.
So clearly keeping that entire room together was like priority one for the Bengals, who are notorious for not paying anybody and being like the biggest penny pitchers in the NFL. So it's good to see a team that actually values Gesicki because through his entire career, whether it's Miami or New England, like no team has really seen what he can do and valued him like the Bengals have. So it's good that he's going to get all that volume, even with Chase and Higgins.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Well, thanks for building me up after I just was so like tight end low. I was and I feel like you sold me on Gesicki. Like I'm good. I'm selling now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he's good.
He's good, and he's finally in a place where Jamar Chase can show him how to do a proper gritty. He
ain't listening. He is gritting to his own tempo and all that.
Real Estate's got a good question up here for us. Like, how have teams been handling the schedule?
I don't know why.
Darnold, yes. With extra
I believe he's gonna
yeah. So that's kind of one of the things about drafting this early, right? You don't know what the schedule's like. You don't know bye weeks. We've already talked about, we don't know landing spots, any of that. I think like you're pretty safe here taking, 3 QBs, at least 3 tight ends, because it's tight end premium. And then you just kind of have to fill in your roster as best you see fit. Like, I think there's really no point in just worrying about that kind of stuff because you can't control, the schedule. You can't control the bye weeks or any of that. That's just kind of the fun, really, is just rolling the dice here to see what happens with these kind of things. And you know what? Maybe you do end up with a few guys on a bye that really kind of hurts your team, but it's 1 week. We play this for 18, so.
Right. And you can go at that, with different ways. Like, with team 3, we'll take Hawkinson and Goddard, 2 guys that are going to be locked in somewhere. Whether Goddard gets moved or not, he's going to be a starting tight end no matter where he goes, if it's still in Philly or elsewhere. So like that pairing of those 2 early, and you're almost locked in. You don't need to draft another tight end. You probably should still, but there's not like you don't need a third. And then you can do the same thing with quarterback, like Brock Purdy and Jordan Love, same team, that kind of thing. Those guys are locked into 17 games as long as they're healthy. And you're not having to worry about if a guy's going to get benched or anything like that. But the further down that you take your first quarterback, that increases the need. And same with tight end, that increases the need to have to draft a third and then maybe a 4th.
Exactly. Guys, we're in the 13th round, halfway through the 13th round. Got Dalton Schultz off the board. Keon Coleman. Did you guys see that clip of him talking about going to dinner at Josh Allen's house recently?
I did not. Regale us. It's
hilarious. I mean, Keon Coleman is hilarious anyway. But he was talking about, I think he was like, he goes, Josh had, was serving us for dinner, like, bread and fish and something else, and he was like, this is like the food that like Jesus ate. And it was just like, he's so precious. Like, this is hilarious. That's out there, that's floating about the interwebs. Like, you shouldn't have a hard time finding that.
Dude got an extension. Like, come on, get some lobster and some steak in there. Come on. Come on, Josh.
Oh man. Well, this is strictly vibes. Do you guys I feel like a lot of this right now, it's so early. Like, I just want to go off vibes, really, that I'm getting at this point.
I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, look, we're all, we're going to be in cruise control after the draft anyway. So we get a little bit of a break from like the constant barrage of news. So like taking some vibes based stuff. I mean, we're starting to get into like the zero RB stuff guys now with like Jordan Mason and Blake Corum, Jalen Wright. So I mean, I talked about one guy actually. You'll have to go back to the previous stream last night. I don't want to talk about him. He hasn't been picked yet, but I also do think Jordan Mason landing in Minnesota behind Aaron Jones, who we know not exactly the picture of health. Hard for him to stay healthy for 17 games. We know what Jordan Mason did at the beginning of last season too. So he will be definitely one of the priority, like zero RB, contingent plays at running back.
Oh, for sure. I'd almost totally forgotten that he ended up in Minnesota. There's just been so much news. It's so hard to keep up with.
Yeah, it's been a lot going on.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, Kelly, you're almost on the clock.
Yep, there I am.
On the clock now. Yep. Quentin Johnston goes. Guys, we're in the 14th round. We start off with Blake Corum, Jerome Ford, Hollywood Brown, Quentin Johnson, Devin Neal, one of my favorites from the combine. Let's see who is going to be up next. I like the JJ McCarthy pick from Jen and her team here because she went late with Tua and then she picks up JJ McCarthy. It doesn't seem like Minnesota's really intent on bringing somebody else in. And I think I heard too that they turned down a ton of trade requests for him too.
Oh.
So it seems like he's going to be a locked-in starter.
Yeah, they didn't want to, I mean, look, the Brett Favre career path, as enticing as that may be for the Minnesota Vikings, like good for them to stick to their guns and, not have to take on InfoWars, Aaron Rodgers.
I just really, honestly, just wanted that to happen just for the absolute comedy factor.
You know how much content? Like, that is just weeks, multiple worth of content just on that.
Yeah. It absolutely is. I mean, like, and then poor Jordan Love. Do you think, like, let's just say, right, Rodgers goes to Minnesota, like Jordan Love has to just like have to resign himself to be like, that's how his career is going to go as well. It's set in stone.
Like Jordan Love, just look, we've seen it once, we've seen it now. We dodged a bullet, hopefully, and it's not going to happen twice. Like, just be a nice dude and don't defraud states' welfare funds and don't go off the deep end. And like, it's really a straight and narrow path that Jordan Love has to take to not turn into scourges of society.
100%. Yvette, Isaac Garendo. Yeah.
That was the guy,
And I have CMC, so I have my handcuff there.
Love it. Love that pick.
Just in case.
He's another one, right, with Jordan Mason, Kev, that's going to be up there really targeted by a lot of people, I think, in these drafts.
Yeah, that was the guy I was talking about from last night. I didn't want to mention his name because he hadn't gotten picked yet. But yeah, between Garendo and Mason, and then I look to maybe you could throw a Tank Bigsby in there too, but like Ray Davis and Tyler Algier. And then we have so many other, rookies. We don't know where they're going to land, but there's going to be a couple really good spots, for some of these guys to land in a really kind of muddy things up for some of the established running backs. Audric Estime can kind of throw in there too. Depends on if the Broncos, whether it's, could be Ashton Jeanty, could be Amari Hampton. I think the Broncos are going to bring in a running back too. We know how much Sean Payton loves running the ball and switching up between 37 running backs in a given game. So that should be fun for nobody.
I was just going to say, it was so frustrating last year.
That helps no one.
No
you
one.
remember that segment? That helps no one.
Yes,
every time that like an offensive lineman catches a touchdown, like I'm just like, that helps nobody. Thank you.
Yeah. And they employ 3 of them at tight end as well, who might as well be offensive linemen. So that also helps nobody.
Yikes.
What's better to help nobody than the person that you're playing?
That's fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Touche. I'm going to ask a dumb question here. Brenton Strange, is he still in Jacksonville?
Sure is.
And no more Evan Ingram. So is it the Brenton Strange show?
I mean, they signed the perfect people to really broaden your horizons on Brenton Strange. Like they didn't bring in any pass catching tight ends. Like the tight ends they brought in were Johnny Munt, who has famously been like the blocker next to TJ Hawkinson in Minnesota, and then was the blocking tight end next to Tyler Higbee in Los Angeles with the Rams. And they also brought in Hunter Long, who is like the perfect blocker next to, Jonnu Smith. So they're not bringing in any receiving talent. Like it is Brenton Strange right now, unless they draft somebody. Brenton Strange is like locked into, I don't know if they're going to give him like the Evan Ingram snap share. I don't know if he's going to be running like 85% of snaps and routes, but he's in like prime position right now there's some ambiguity in Jacksonville now, especially with their passing game, because we know it's going to be Brian Thomas, but obviously Kirk is gone. Obviously Gabe Davis is gone. There's some question marks there. So Brenton Strange is sneakily, if they don't add another target, or maybe they only had one, he's still in a good position to, in the 14th round, at the end of the 14th.
Yeah, I like that. And I want to say is that's Mark Andrews and Brock Bowers. That's nice. That's a nice tight end room there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Round. 10 seconds left of that. No pressure.
Okay. I'm just going to go. I don't know why. And I hope the Browns don't draft him. I hope I just didn't. I might have just set my.
I don't think the Browns are going to, from what I've heard, Dion is like, no, we're not going the Browns. I think they'd pull an Eli if that happened.
He might be the next. I think he's slated to go to the Giants the way things are looking, honestly. I could totally see that. Shedeur to Neighbors is not bad, but there's so much ambiguity. We'll see what happens, but that's the crazy part about Cam Ward. We know is going to be in that discussion too. Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, all these other guys. We're gonna see.
We are gonna see. Oh, Shedeur slam dance. Vince. Yep, Shedeur to the Sanders, or the Shedeur to the Sanders, Shedeur to the Giants.
I think the people in Cleveland don't think that. I think a lot of people in Cleveland think that we're going to get a quarterback, and it's either going to be him or Cam Ward. Although I think if the Browns want Cam Ward, that they should have to move. That they might have to move up. But everyone thinks it's crazy. There's to be one spot, but I think if they really want Cam Ward, then they have to move up.
Who would you like to see them take? Not forget those two, or you could add in those two.
I think right now I'm living in Travis Hunter Road. I just kind of feel like I want a generational player. I think I'm just a little bit like scorned in the quarterback position, and this isn't the draft that we have good quarterbacks in. I think that neither one of these quarterbacks. I think they're both might not be great in the NFL, and I don't know, like.
You want to just hold off a little bit? Isn't next year's quarterback cost supposed to be a little bit better?
Exactly.
The march to arch.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
I heard
we have Kenny Pickens, duh. We're going to win now with Kenny Pickens. How can we go wrong? Oh, God.
Braylon Allen. I love it. I love that you're getting him so cheap, too, in the 15th round, Kelly. Like, that's nice. I like that a lot. Do we think that like the Jets are gonna like kind of take some? I know obviously Aaron Glenn was their defensive coordinator, didn't have anything to do with their offense, but like, do you think like he's gonna try to like bring some of that like Gibbs Montgomery into the mix with Breece Hall and Braylon Allen? Maybe in the Jets. Am I just nonsense here?
They brought in I believe it was the Tanner Engstrand, who was, I believe, one of their position coaches from Detroit. So you could see some of that. And what stinks, and I don't want to slander Braylon Allen because I know he's literally just able to drink now. I believe he just turned 21 not too long ago.
Was he the youngest player in the NFL last year?
I think still he is. Yeah. But I'm a little worried about Braylon Allen just because we know Breece Hall is pretty much entrenched there. Isaiah Davis had a role last year, especially late with his pass catching. But they they have a 3-headed, backfield. Obviously Breece is going to head it, but they have guys that are interchangeable, and Allen should be a big part of that. If something happens to Breece Hall, you're probably going to see.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an insurance there.
They got rid of my boy Izzy Abanikanda, so shipped him off.
That's just a great name to
I was
say.
gonna say, I
It's
love
so much fun. It's so now that I can like say it, and not it's like stumble over it. A+.
Yeah. You learn how to say his name, and then he's like on the
And then he's
outskirts
gone.
of the NFL.
Exactly. I don't even want to talk about Malachi Corley and how much I loved him last year. Charlene, I don't know if he's still in San Francisco or not. Let's pull up a depth chart. Is he? He's still there?
Yep.
Nice. All right. Well, I mean, that's fun. With Jordan Mason gone, like maybe that helps give him a little bit more, wiggle room to maybe get in there.
Yeah.
Here we go. Jatavian Sanders. Jen coming in with I love this tight end room over here with Jonnu Ingram and then Jatavian Sanders there in the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Ollie Gordon. Yeah. Erica's so excited.
I'm gonna take off.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Well, my daughter over there and
I love your shirt, by the way.
I know.
What does it say?
Fantasy football is my religion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yvette, before you go, tell everybody where they can find you.
Sure. Thank you guys again for having me on. You can find me at Vigi Sports on all social media and check out my website at vigisports.net.
Yes. Thanks, Yvette. Have a good night. Have a good rest of your draft. See you later. All right. So we are going in the 16th round. We got Ollie Gordon kicking it off. And we got Derek Carr coming in.
Derek Carr, a player that still exists somehow.
I know. Isn't that wild?
Oh, man. Oh, poor Derek Carr. The Carr brothers, just in general, that's a bad luck. What's up, Mel? Mel is when did Mel draft? Hang on. Was Mel last night? Yes, Melissa drafted last night. That's right.
All right, Stacy, get ready for it.
Let's see. Who is it? Who's it going to be? There we go. Yeah. Yes.
It pains me to do this, but
with Baker and Bro, you're fine.
No, I know, but if he goes to the Vikings, it could actually.
I want so badly for him to go to Pittsburgh, and then I want to see really how much personality can Mike Tomlin control in one locker room.
Oh, that'd be wild.
Like Pickens, DK, Aaron Rodgers,
and Arthur Smith.
Yes, I was about to say Arthur Smith. Oh man. Woo.
I never knew I wanted something so much
right?
in my life.
Oh yeah. I just want that for the content. I just want it for the content.
After the stream, I'm gonna go put on Renegade on loop.
Oh my god.
Christian Kirk in the 16th round. That was the best. That's the best pick of the draft.
Who,
I'm
Rodgers?
telling you right now. No, Christian Kirk in the 16th round.
Christian Kirk. I was like, I saw that pick and I was like, Christian Kirk was still there in the 16th round?
Yeah, he was.
Oh my goodness. Scabbers with Tillman in this. That is nice too. We are big Cedric Tillman fans in this household. All right. Oh, who is your little friend, Kelly? Who is this?
This is Mia.
Hello,
She's 6
Mia.
months old now.
Thank you for joining us. Is she going to help you make some picks?
She's I kept trying to say she's a Lions fan.
Oh,
and my husband kept saying, no, she looks like a tiger. And I'm like, okay, well.
Bengals or Panthers. She can have her pick.
Yeah. And then my other cat's black. So we always laugh. We go, okay, the Panthers. He's like, when are the Panthers playing?
Mine are locked outside my room because they will cause absolute chaos if I let them in here. Yeah. Same. They don't get to be on the show anymore. Now occasionally they've bullied their way in and wreaked havoc, but
they've lost privileges.
Very well behaved for children, Kelly. Yeah, they have lost podcast privileges for now. For sure. Yeah, I mean, come on, DK Pickens, Aaron Rodgers. Like, are you telling me like you wouldn't watch a Hard Knocks with that? That would have the highest ratings of all time.
Oh
Talk about content. Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Like seriously. Like how much did Tomlin keep under wraps, right? Until like Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell like went to other teams. Nobody knew they were nuts. No one knew they were crazy until they were off the Steelers.
That dude's writing a book. Like
Oh
as
my
soon
God.
as like a year or two after he's done coaching, that dude is writing a book.
Or I want an ESPN 30 for 30. Like
Yeah.
I need
That too.
yeah, I need one of those. Like in the worst way.
And then Roethlisberger stuff too. Like he's
Yeah.
seen some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. There we go. Marshawn Lloyd again. I love it. I love it that people have not forgotten about Marshawn Lloyd. Actually, I do want all of you to forget about him. Everybody who's drafting on Saturday, forget that I said anything about Marshawn.
This is
Please.
the problem of being the host, right?
Yeah. Well, how about too is that like I'm gonna have to I will be Kevin, you are gonna have to just totally take because I'm gonna be nuts over
I can
here.
drive the bus if you need me to.
I will definitely need you to drive the bus, please, because we won't have Keith either. But Brittany, Keith's wife, is playing on Saturday. She's drafting with us on Saturday. We've got Rachel, I think was in the chat earlier. Rachel, you still there? Rachel is drafting on Saturday. We got Miss Brittany Foxworth. We got Erica. Erica and her wife Monica are drafting both on Saturday as well. We got it's a room. It is definitely a room there in the Saturday at 4 p.m. Nicole Lynn division.
Whew. That could get testy in the Erica Monica household.
Exactly, the Brown Watterson household. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna go on there. Let's see. Is this no? Yvette's the next team. Okay, it's like hang on.
As much as I slandered Nick Westbrook-Akine last year, the Dolphins got rid of Berrios. They're getting rid of a lot of the dead weight. Like, I don't honestly mind Nick Westbrook-Akine now that he's in a much more fruitful offense for fantasy rather than the quagmire, the quicksand that is the Tennessee Titans that just sucks everybody up to never to be seen again.
Oh, is he not just like the epitome of like a true best ball player, like somebody that you really would just prefer to have in best ball versus a managed lineup?
I mean, for touchdowns, like we know the dude can catch touchdowns. I mean, but I think he could see a little bit more volume too, because it's really been Jonnu. Well, with last year, Jonnu really stepped up. It had to because Waddle and Hill had down seasons, partly due to injuries. But I think Nick Westbrook-Akine could, because they were giving guys, Odell Beckham was getting snaps and, Braxton Berrios and River Craycraft and guys like that, guys that really should not matter in fantasy. And Nick Westbrook-Akine can matter. So I don't mind that as far as after him, there really shouldn't be like anybody that's even close to the fantasy radar. So I think he's like on the periphery there, but as a best ball guy, like, you could probably pencil in 6-7 touchdowns. Hopefully you get close to like 80-something targets. Something happens to Hill or Waddle or even Jonnu that condenses the pecking order there. That's good for him.
Absolutely. Bashal Tootin. Good job, Kelly. That's a fun one. I like it. Yeah. He is fast. He is very fast. Very fast. As we are wrapping the 17th round here, we got 3 more picks before we move on to the 18th. Just a reminder, this is a 20-round draft. Slim format. Jackson Dart. Yes. Who took Jackson Dart? Who did that?
Who's at the top?
Good job, Kennedy. Good job. I love me some Jackson Dart.
I mean, he's going to be like a because I don't know. He could get into the first round, but like if he doesn't, we've seen quarterbacks that everybody thinks they're going to be in like the top like 6, 7, 8 picks fall to the second, and we saw it with Will Levis. But Dart could be a good target for a team that doesn't want to trade up and that just happens to need the very beginning of the second round, if like because Cleveland has the 33rd pick. Like if they take an Abdul Carter or a Travis Hunter, there you go. That's like gift wrapped.
Exactly. We got Rashard Smith as our first pick in the 18th round. Bringing us around the corner here. Miss Marlene taking him. Yeah, curious. Oh, there goes Jawan Johnson. Pair with Derek Carr. That's nice. Good job, Jen. Oh, we got a dart to Pittsburgh. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, like there's a lot of landing spots for Jackson Dart. I mean, it's almost, would you rather take the shot on the rookie or,
Right.
have to set up a cave in the locker room for Aaron Rodgers? Like, what do you, or sign Russell Wilson and have to, I mean,
Oof.
yeah, it's like pick your poison. I would rather just draft a rookie. And as we've seen in the NFL, you don't have a quarterback until you have a quarterback. Like, just keep drafting them until you find one. So take the shot on Dart. If he shows something, work with it. If he doesn't, go back to the well next year. Or even, you've seen quarterbacks, multiple quarterbacks go to like Washington, who took RG3 and Kirk Cousins.
Yep. Exactly. I'm just picturing poor Jackson Dart in Pittsburgh and being like screamed out on the sidelines by George Pickens and DK Metcalf. Like,
I just point to Arthur, be like, he told me to hand the ball off. All right.
I don't even know that I'd be that afraid of George Pickens, but like having DK Metcalf mad at me would I think I would have to have new pants probably.
New pants. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I always look back to that picture of DK Metcalf and AJ Brown, and AJ Brown looks like a toddler next to him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh guys. We are in round 18 here. Do you guys, let me ask you, how do we feel best ball versus redraft? Are we like, and especially when you're talking about this earlier, do we have a preference one versus the other when you're drafting this early without really knowing a lot of things about guys? Or do we not care? Are we just bold and ready to do whatever?
I mean, redraft lets you cut bait with, like, if you take a bunch of rookies and maybe some guy goes undrafted or whatever, you can automatically cut bait. But, best ball, I think it makes it a little bit tougher, but also the risk reward is much higher if you're drafting, say, a Bashal Tootin and that dude goes in the second round to like the Saints or something like that. And like Alvin Kamara goes down and like he's the guy there, something like that, where you're automatically getting, I mean, if we knew Tootin was going to be getting work day one, he wouldn't be a 17th round pick. He'd be like an 8th or 9th round pick. Mm-hmm. So that's the reward you're getting. And then at least redraft, you don't really have the risk because you can just get rid of them right away and pick up somebody else that's going to help you. I mean, but best ball, I mean, I do like that just because you can really stock up on like rookies, like where we saw like RJ Harvey, is a guy that has a very wide range of outcomes where he could go in the second, but he could also like go in like the 4th or 5th, depending on, just how the draft turns out. So yeah, I think there's advantages to both, but with best ball, I think you're getting more return on your investment, especially if you hammer like some rookies and you're getting good runouts.
Oh yeah. Kelly, what do you think?
I think on best ball, you're trying to get as many players are going to be on the field playing. Mm-hmm. Versus in redraft, I think you can look for doing some, handcuffing and things like that. And you have the ability to move around players. So I just try to approach it and I try to throw some rookies in for the fun of it. But I'm really looking for anybody that's going to be on the field because then it means any day, any week they can come off and help you in best ball. So,
oh yeah, absolutely. You are going to be picking here pretty soon, 19th round. Guys, kicking it off with Michael Wilson, Andre Yeshivas, Jaden Higgins, Sincere McCormick, Elijah Moore. I think these are guys we didn't see drafted last night, right, Kev? I know we didn't see.
Yeah, like I'm going through right now. Like Higgins was drafted, but like I don't remember seeing McCormick, who very small sample, but was pretty relevant for like the last couple of weeks of the season. But yeah, that's the thing. You're going to get a lot of players, especially in the last couple rounds, where guys are just getting pulled up because, just based on variance.
Yeah.
I like the Yeshivas pick too, even though, I mean, I know we've got, Higgins and Chase there and Gesicki, but I think, Yeshivas, when he had to step up, like he ended up, let me see, how many touchdowns did he get last year? He was a great plug-in if you had to put him in.
Yeah, a handful, I believe.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. Hang on.
I'm
curious now.
got it
Are
right
you gonna beat
here.
me to it?
It's 6.
6? All right. Solid.
Yeah. Like not terrible, but it was he had a better beginning of the season, and then it's kind of once Jamar Chase like went into overdrive, kind of canceled him out a little bit, which is tough, but you know, he ran a lot of routes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Dammy Brown, love him. He really played really well during the playoffs.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll be a kickoff for this year.
Yeah, and he's in, you know, and he'll be in the mix there in Jacksonville once if they can find a, you know, whether it's, you know, a third wide receiver. Obviously, we know it's going to be, you know, Brian Thomas, and then probably because they paid him Gabe Davis, but
yeah,
you know, they gave him 1 year, $10 million, so that's money talks.
Yeah,
or maybe not. Maybe De'Ami Brown is just, you know, was a product of Jaden Daniels' ascension. We'll see.
Guys, here we go. Wrapping the 19th round, headed into our very last round here, 20 rounds. Thanks for everybody who has stayed hanging out in the chat with us tonight. Everybody watching online, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever else we've got the streaming. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's probably other places. Yes, Elijah Rojo goes finally. Love it. Okay, guys, this is so much fun. Thanks for everybody hanging out. Kelly, you are a straight up gamer coming on, hanging out with us the entire draft.
Wire to wire.
Love it. Love it. Everybody else who comes on the next 3 drafts, you guys are going to have to beat Kelly. So,
oh no. When you asked for people to come on, I didn't know when I signed in that all of a sudden I was in the show. So,
oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. And offers open to anybody who's drafting in our tournament. If you guys want to come on and hang out with us for a round, 2 rounds, all the rounds, you are more than welcome. Trying to get
Stacy hoodwinked her. I see.
I did. You had no idea you were going to be co-hosting with us. Yeah. Guys, just a reminder again, we have got 4:00 Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 22nd. We will be drafting. We've also got Friday, the 28th, the late night draft free there at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And then Sunday is going to be our last draft in the tournament. That's March 30th at 7 p.m. Come hang out if you're not drafting. Make sure to hang out in the chat, like just see what's going on, check out all the draft picks, stay for the shenanigans, and you know, I just feel like this is such a good time of year. Like, you know, there's not a lot of drafts going on, but I just feel like people really want draft content right now. Like, there's not a lot of other sports happening at this point, you know, like it's kind of a, you know, we got spring training going. Baseball hasn't really ramped up yet. You know, hockey's getting ready to go in the playoffs. We got March Madness, you know, starting tomorrow, but you know, people want the football.
Yeah, baseball apparently started.
Hey.
The Cubs and Dodgers played in Japan.
Yeah, they did. I'm
a
going
gaggle of Pikachu running on the field.
I was actually in Tokyo, and I've seen the stadiums from like some of the tall buildings. They really take their baseball seriously.
They do. They absolutely do. And Jim, to answer your question, we are absolutely going to fight about not drafting a rookie tight end this year. 100%. We're going to fight about that. Charlene, F1. I didn't even know that F1 was going on right now. No idea. Jameis. Yes.
That is a fun haver right there.
Yes. The vet. Love it. Love that. That is such a fun pick. That's great. That made my day that she took Jameis in the 20th round.
There's a lot of people, like, I'm surprised that have not, I mean, there's 3 picks left and they might go bang, 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 but that have not been picked. And from last night, I'm kind of surprised. I will name them if they're not picked, but
yeah, please do.
Yeah. Let us think of what else. Again, thanks to everybody who hung out with us tonight. We've only got 2 more picks left. So we are going to be wrapping pretty soon. If you stayed the entire 1 hour, 24 minutes and 39 seconds, we appreciate you very much. And if you did say that all the time and you have not done a like, a subscribe, or follow for Fantasy and Frames yet, what are you doing? Hit that button immediately. Please. Who is Jordan James? Royal, come on, man. Who is Jordan James?
I think I outran him in the 40.
Whoa. Hey,
Oh no.
that's not nice. He was a very pleasant interview. Again, I will not say anything negative about any of the very nice gentlemen that I spoke with.
Oh, I ran super fast. So that's good for Jordan James.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forget how they all ran. The fastest or the slowest, and then anywhere in between, I have completely put out of my brain already. Devon Vele, another fight. Yoshivas and Vele. That, I mean, come on, we got the all name squad here for team 2. Curtis Samuel.
Wow.
Like, no Tyler Lockett.
No Xavier Restrepo either.
No Restrepo.
That's the big one for me. Who
Yeah.
has a good shot of getting into the second round. Yeah, that's. I mean, different textures. That's what we're talking about. Did Mason Taylor get drafted? I don't think he did either.
No Mason Taylor either. Yeah. No MT. Kelly, let's go over your squad real quick before we call it a night. Let's do this. All right, Kelly, first round. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, Chase Brown, Joe Burrow, Marvin Harrison, your first 5 picks. How do you feel about this so far?
I actually am very happy with Chase and Burrow in there. And then, I guess I did kind of go with the theme. I love Chase Brown. Like I said, I watched him in college. So I'm just tickled that I got him. And I'm happy with Joe Burrow as my top quarterback. And I think Baker is those two, I think, they'll compete week after week, I think, for the top score. So it's for a non-super flex.
I love that. What's your favorite mid-round pick that of all the guys that you took here?
I think Ricky Pearsall, and I think it's just going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen in San Francisco with all the changes and stuff. So it could fall. He could. It could not pay off, but it could be a big win too. So I was happy with that pick. As well. So, and I think I actually really like Roschon Johnson. I kind of was surprised he's still there. I don't know, maybe this is just the homer in me, but I'm really hoping that he finally breaks out in the RB situation in Chicago, because they have to have a running game. So, and I think he's just been really under pushed in Chicago. So I'd really like to see him, get more carries and really try to carry the load. But who knows? To see who they draft too. They might draft another running back.
Yeah. One of the funny things about Ben Johnson is that, when DeAndre Swift was in Detroit, he did not want to use him.
Exactly.
And that led to Swift being ousted pretty much. So I think Roschon Johnson's very live, especially if they don't draft somebody to be at least maybe 55% of the carries there with Bears. And then, I like Cole Kmet to stick with the Bears too, because of Ben Johnson, using Sam Laporta. He was criminally underused last year. Famously, Shane Waldron decided to give Gerald Everett 70% of the routes in week 1. And everybody was up in arms. What are you doing? Cole Kmet's was tight end 8 the year before. And, and he had a very much a down year, and I think he's kind of off the radar a little bit. But knowing how Ben Johnson has used tight ends in his offense, I think we could see a nice bounce back for Kmet.
Oh yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with my team for zero prep.
I love it. I think you did a great squad. Kelly, tell everybody where they can find you online.
Okay, so I'm at my handle for Instagram and X and everything is Katie Cheer Mom. Yes, I established my Twitter when my daughter was in cheer, so I just have never changed it.
Oh man. Well, that's it, guys. Give Kelly a follow. Katie Cheer Mom is where you can find her online. You can find all of us online as well. Kevin is over on Blue Sky at Kate Tompkins II. Blue Sky over there. I'm also on Blue Sky. I'm also on Twitter at Stacy_Perez 83. Same on both. Again, thank you all to everybody who participated. Thanks to Yvette for joining us. Kelly, Total Gamer, you're welcome to hang out with us anytime.
Yep.
Everybody else, again, we will be back Saturday, the 22nd at 4 p.m. Eastern time with our next draft. Until then, we're going to see you later. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.